The one thing I learned about having a 9 to 5 is it provides you that freedom. And yeah, I know it's just one paycheck to the next. But think about it this way. If you didn't have a 9 to 5, could you still achieve the things you set out to do? For far too long, there's been so many YouTubers telling you to quit your 9 to 5. There's a difference. If your work environment is toxic and affecting your health, impacting your health in such a negative way, high blood pressure, stroke, heart attack, depression, anxiety, sleepless nights, then yes, it's time to quit. Ask the Heavenly Father to bless you with a job that's best suited to your personality and your skills, a schedule that works for you, a job that can bring you a little bit of peace, because no one's going to have a job that they really love 100%. I learned to appreciate a 9 to 5. I learned to appreciate a job. You're still going paycheck to paycheck, and that's understandable because of the economy. It's not due to the job, it's due to the economy. Because think about 10 to 15 years ago, a 9 to 5, most people weren't living paycheck to paycheck. They got their checks, they paid their bills, their car notes and all that other stuff, and they paid their car insurance and still had money to go do fun things. I don't believe that you should just up and quit your job, because then you're stuck sitting on your thumbs and saying to yourself, okay, what next? You have kids to feed, you have any pets, that's mouths that depend on you. Even if you're someone who don't have kids or don't have a spouse, you still have to feed yourself. You still have to clothe yourself. You still have to pay for the roof over your head. Or that's where having a 9 to 5 comes into play. I think that listening to the wrong influence is what made us look at 9 to 5s as terrible as we do today. Back in the day, especially in the 90s, if one of our friends had a job, they were uplifted in the community. They were celebrated for having a job. They were respected for having a 9 to 5. But I learned to appreciate having a job, because not only does it provide that stability for my family and I, you get to a point where you can utilize that 9 to 5 with the money you make from that job. Back in the day, this is hilarious. All my OGs know the reference. Back in the day, there was a show called Martin. There was 2 cast members on that show named Tommy and Cole, 2 characters. And everybody knew that Cole had a job. We don't know what it was, though. Cole had a job. But the punchline of every episode, and all my OGs know the direction I'm about to go in, the punchline of each episode was, Tommy, you ain't got no job. Even though years later, when they had a cast reunion and they talked about that one punchline in the show, the interviewer asked the cast, he said, why would y'all always say that about poor Tommy? And the main character of the show, Martin Lawrence, he said that Tommy did in fact have a job, but the group of friends never knew what it was. Because in every episode, Tommy will be like, all right, Martin, I can't fool with you no more. I got to go to work. And Martin would raise up his hand and say, hey, Tommy, you ain't got no job. And that was hilarious. But back in those days, you were shamed in such a way, in a similar fashion, if you didn't have a job. It was a shame for a man to be a man without a 9 to 5. Look at it this way in today's times. If there's something that you want to do for yourself, a dream that you want to chase, or if you want to start your own business, you can't even get a business loan without a job. Think about that for a second. I know you want to escape the rat race, and that's fine. That's perfectly fine. Not everybody sees themselves working for the rest of their lives. Some people want to retire early and, enjoy their years. There's nothing wrong with that. But before you get to that point, you have to have funding, and you got to work for that funding. My uncle used to say, and major shout out to my Uncle Ty. He used to tell me all the time, make sure you set aside some money for a rainy day. And if you don't need to touch that money, it can add up. Therefore, working is important. Having a 9 to 5 is important, not just for stability. It builds character. Hard work builds character. I learned to appreciate a job because it afforded me these luxuries. The camera that I'm using to record from, the microphone I'm using to talk to you guys on, the tripod that this camera is sitting on, all were purchased from having a job. All in all, ladies and gentlemen, don't quit your job. It's not worth it. Keep that job, and bring the Heavenly Father some glory and honor by working that 9 to 5. But anyway, I love you guys. I thank you all for tuning in, and I'll see you on the next one. God bless. Peace.